Okay, hi, welcome to this reading vlog. I want to just document the things that I'm reading this week. I wanted to vlog reading this book, but then I read it and I DNF'd it, so I was like, oh, okay. So, The Simple Wild. I really want to talk about it because this is such an important topic and it matters to me. So, yeah, okay. So this book, I went in hesitant and I was right to do that, and I really should have I should have known, but anyways. I started it and it's actually really easy to get into, and it's a quick read, definitely. And I was curious, I kept going, whatever. So, it follows this girl who was born in Alaska, but her mom divorces her dad because she doesn't want to live there anymore, and her dad doesn't care. He has his business and he's like, well, see ya. And so they move to Toronto, and then so when the girl is 26 years old, she gets a phone call from her dad's company saying, hey, he's got cancer, you should probably come and spend some time with him if you want to see him. And so she decides to do it. He has a employee who is a 31-year-old man who is very judgmental and rude at the beginning. And so I should have known, we started off on not a good foot, regardless of how he felt about her and how he thought whatever, that she was gonna just hate on Alaska and he couldn't trust her and whatever. All of his reasoning, it doesn't matter. The way you treat a person matters. And he treated her terribly, especially knowing that she is the daughter of the guy he works for. And it's wow, started off on a bad foot. But of course they write it to be oh, but he has a soft spot for her, and it's whoa. But it's so readable. It's addicting. And so I'm reading, and I got over 200 pages in. I don't want to just hate on this book, but it was not good for me. And I want to explain myself because I just wish that it was talked about more. I got to the sex scene and I decided to put it down. So I would not recommend this book. It's not clean at all, and it is so compulsively readable. It's easy to read, and I liked the main girl. Their relationship, this guy, it's just not something I want to put in my head. So I am not speaking against anyone who likes this book or any other romance books. I'm just sharing, for me, it's not healthy, and I have to be really strict about that. So again, from now on, I've got to be, unless I have heard from someone's mouth that this non-Christian romance book has no sex in it, I cannot read it. So that's where I'm at. I kind of wish I had documented, but at the same time, there's nothing much to say other than I did DNF it, and it's disappointing, but anyways, so that is where I'm at. I recently finished Dead Drift by Dani Pettrey. Gave it 4 stars. I thought it was good. I gave every single book in this series 4 stars. Definitely a solid romantic suspense, more so thriller, legal thriller kind of. For this series, I wasn't as into it because there was less romance. There was some. I would still recommend it, but what I've got going now is these are the books that I want to tackle this week. I'm almost done. I'm almost done with Sinners in the Hands of a Loving God, and I am loving it. So there definitely have been some chapters where I'm not really sure if I'm feeling what he's saying, and yet there's other chapters where I'm oh yeah, yes, I like it. So that's what I like. If you have not seen the video, you probably have, but I did make a video explaining how I can read controversial books and be okay. And so I can link it down below if you want. I kind of mentioned this book in it. This book is what sparked my idea. I haven't agreed with every single thing that he said, but it's definitely thought-provoking, and that's what I like. So I'm gonna try to finish this book this week. Then I finally started diving into Crossroads. I started it, but then I put it down because I was starting The Simple Wild, and I was oh, okay, should have just kept reading this. But I'm very curious about it. It's starting off quite, you follow this guy who is the worst. But I'm just at the part where he's feeling like he's being followed. So I don't know if it's an angel or Jesus, or if it's actually a person. The Kingdom of Back is due in like 5 days, so I definitely need to read it. All of my library books are due in 5 days, so I was like, I might have to return some and not read them. I decided to return So You Want to Talk About Race because I knew I wouldn't have the time to read it and I didn't want to skim through it, so I returned that. But then I still have Sherwood and Skylark, so I don't know if I'll be able to read those before I have to return them. But I really want to read this one. I've hyped it a lot already and like talked how I'm gonna talk, like I've talked about how I want to read it, so I really want to read it, you know? So yeah, I hope it's a quick read. I hope I like it. I don't know. I'm worried that I'm not gonna like it. So yeah. And then, super random, but I'm excited, I got Love and Other Mistakes by Jessica Kate. So super cool. She messaged me on Instagram and I've talked to her over Instagram, so that's really cool. She saw my review of A Girl's Guide to the Outback because it was in my favorites video, and then I also have a recommendation video with it in it, and she's seen it, which is so cool. And I knew that she had another book, but I forgot, and my library has it, so I checked it out. So this is going to be a Christian romance that I am very excited about. You follow this girl who her fiance breaks their engagement, and the aftermath of that, and it says God feels very far away. That is what's happening this week. So these were the books that I talked about. Returning this one immediately, and yeah. And quickly, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has had such a great discussion with me on my last video, not my last video, on the controversial video, on the video about reading controversial books. I'm always a little bit uncertain how those videos are gonna do, and you guys are just so willing to talk with me and like be open, and I really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. I'm just really thankful and it feels good. Hello. It's the next day. It's Tuesday. Guys, look, I cut my thumb and I'm afraid to look at it. So last night I was cooking up some beans. I was cooking up some black beans to add to my taco salad, and I thought that I had like opened the can enough so that I could just rip the lid off, but I didn't, and so the lid didn't give when I thought it would give, and it sliced my thumb. And it hurt really bad. And I don't think it's deep enough that I would need stitches because I was able to stop the bleeding, but it hurts. And I haven't looked at it since last night, and it is now like late afternoon on the next day. So I'm afraid, but I will keep you posted. I mostly just don't want it to scar, which is kind of dumb. Like, who cares if you have a scar on your thumb? But like, you know, when metal cuts you and it's deep, like it leaves a scar. So I hope that like I dressed it enough to not have it scar, but like all day, if I just even bumped it against anything, it would hurt so bad. So it still really hurts. Like, just right now it doesn't hurt, but like if I touch it, it hurts. So I'm afraid to take the Band-Aid off, but I know that it has bled through the first Band-Aid. Like, I've got 2 Band-Aids on. This Band-Aid definitely like is red, so, but I think that happened yesterday, so I don't know. Yeah, so I'm chronicling my cut thumb. How do you feel about that? You know what? I don't have any of my books here, but I did want to talk about Lent. I'm very excited. Yeah, so it is Lent 2021. Lent starts on Wednesday, February 17th, right? Yeah, and so it's the 16th today. So I guess you won't see this until Lent will have already started, but if you want to participate, you absolutely can. You don't have to start right on the day. I do have a video on my channel talking about Lent. I don't know if I described it that well, but I will link down below if you want to see more. So for Lent this year, I am going to be reading Discerning the Voice of God by Priscilla Shirer. Very excited about this. It's a workbook, kind of the same as Finding I Am that I did last year. So I'm so excited to dive into this one. I can't wait to see how I learn to hear the voice of God. And I think this is a 6-week devotional, so it'll be just the perfect length for Lent. And yeah, so Lent starts tomorrow for me. I was gonna like do a whole TBR and stuff, but I'm not this year because I don't really plan to change my reading much this year. What is going to be different is I feel like God asked me to fast coffee. So I'm going to be fasting coffee until April 3rd, I think or something in there. I didn't read anything because I cut my thumb last night, and so I was dealing with that, and then I had to get ready for work, so. Hello everyone. So it is Friday now, and I'm just meeting up a friend to go for a walk. So I thought I would quickly update on what's been going on. So I missed a couple days. It's been a long, hard, tired week. So very thankful it's the weekend. And I brought this book with me to read while I wait for my friend, but I thought, oh, I should update first. So I'm almost done with it. And I would say that the later chapters are ones where I'm like, okay, this feels like just an opinion and not fact, in my opinion. Because he's talking about like how to interpret Revelation and end of the world type stuff. So in my opinion, anything about the end of the world and like when Jesus is coming back and anything to expect in that time is completely speculation, and I'll believe it when I see it, basically. And I am okay with that. I'm okay with not knowing what's gonna happen because I know where I'm going, and so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I mean, this is all his opinion too, and I like the things that he's saying, but I also recognize that we can't prove any of it. So I mean, maybe we can. If you like study it deep enough, maybe you can, but I don't need to, and I don't know. I just am fine with it. So does that make sense? Yeah. My hair is quite warm down here, isn't it? Or maybe it's just the lighting? I don't know. I just have to watch that she doesn't come and then I embarrass myself. My real life friends don't know that I do YouTube. One of them does, but like we never talk about it. Because to me, like my YouTube channel is like my secret hobby, I guess. But I don't keep it a secret. I'm not ashamed, but like I don't talk about it to my friends. Only to my family. So anyways, I did decide to return The Kingdom of Back, but then I got it as an ebook instead. So I'm gonna read The Kingdom of Back as an ebook instead because it's due on Saturday tomorrow. So it's like there's no way I'm gonna be able to read it. My reading has definitely slowed down this week. I was on a roll, and then report cards are due in a week. So I'm like, oh, okay. Gotta focus on work for a little bit there, and then hopefully I can pick up my reading again. But so I'm thinking that I'm gonna end the video here because I wanted to like finish a book in this video, but I didn't, did I? No. So thank you for following along with me. Sorry I didn't finish any books in this video, but that is life sometimes. So have a good weekend. I'm gonna upload this tomorrow, Saturday. So happy Saturday, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.